Welcome to Sports Beat KC, the Kansas City Star's daily sports podcast. It is Monday, February 22nd, and I'm Blair Kirchhoff. The Royals' full squad reported Monday with position players joining pitchers and catchers who'd been there for several days. We're going to hear from some of the pitchers today, a mix of starters and relievers, all of them veterans. Danny Duffy kicks it off. He's the longest tenured Royals pitcher, starting his 11th season with the club. Duffy ranks in the franchise's top 10 in strikeouts, starts, and innings pitched, and figures to be part of the rotation again this season. He's always been an interesting guy to talk to. Remember when he said, "Bury me a Royal"? And he had plenty of interesting things to say to reporters this past week. We'll take a break and then hear from three more pitchers. Greg Holland and Wade Davis were two-thirds of the fantastic HDH core of relievers, along with Kelvin Herrera, for the Royals in 2014 and 15. Holland returned to the Royals last season and was terrific. Davis is back since being traded to the Cubs after the 2016 season for Jorge Soler. Both talk about their Royals reunion. Finally, we'll hear from Brad Keller, who's beginning his fourth season with the Royals, but says he doesn't yet feel like a veteran. The interviews were conducted with reporters and broadcasters who regularly cover the Royals. So let's get started with Danny Duffy.
Hey, Danny, how you doing, man? How was the offseason?
Good, man. It was good. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Let me just start off with, I think back in December we saw where it looked like you were changing your jersey number to free up 41 for Santana. And it looked like maybe at first you were grabbing Monty's old number. And obviously this week we saw you got 30. Could you just sort of take us through how you came to that decision, what the process was? It sounded like there were some people that it was important for you to check with to before you made all that happen.
Yeah, Santana, obviously when he signed, he's been 41 his whole career. And, I'm one of those people that's, just thankful to be on this team. And it's a very important number to him. And, by all means, bro, take it. I want him to feel welcome. And, I wasn't really overly concerned with, which number I got. And then somebody mentioned that, Ace's old number would eventually be recirculated. And, it was mentioned to me from a few different people that it would be a really cool deal to be able to honor him. So, I jumped at that opportunity. But, it's going to be cool knowing that, I got his old number on my back and, rep him and honor him however I can.
Do you remember who it was that, like you said, a couple of people mentioned it? I mean, was it anybody in particular that sort of like it hit you when they said, "Hey, man," like for them to suggest that you wear that number?
Yeah, I think I'll probably just reserve that because I don't know if anybody wanted to be mentioned for that, but there was definitely a few people who encouraged me to take it. It definitely wasn't my idea, but when I was presented with the opportunity, I was, for one, very humbled, and two, eager to take that chance. So it'll be cool, man. And I figured if it's going to be recirculated, it would be nice for one of the boys who knew him to be able to wear it. So I'm really thankful that they kind of bestowed that honor upon me.
I think when they posted on social media, they mentioned that you had sort of got the blessing of some of Giordano's family. How important was that for you? And I mean, how did that go? I mean, did you talk to somebody directly or?
I asked a few people. I mean, that was really the only kind of, I guess it sounds kind of arrogant, but that was kind of the only requirement for me was to make sure that, Marisol was cool with it. So I was told that she was more than happy and to allow me to wear it. I think that's really important. And, that humbled me even further. So it's a big deal, man. And I'm excited to wear it.
Well, Danny, what's this offseason been like for you? I know last year, this time we talked about not staying cobwebby. So I just wondered this time what the offseason was like.
Yeah, I kind of just kept, from a performance standpoint, I kind of just kept the same ideology that I had during the quarantine, and that was continue to throw. I felt great in spring training last year. I kept playing catch. Did not stop playing catch for the first time in any off season. I really liked the way I felt at the end of the season. I had some really rocky starts in the middle part of it, albeit, we played for 60 days, but the middle part of it was a bit of a struggle for me. So I liked how I felt at the end, minus that lone relief appearance. And I still really like the way I felt in that one. So I wanted to keep that and not have to kind of reteach myself. So we just kept playing catch, man. I probably took 3 or 4 weeks off of throwing off of the mound. But that was my process. Just lift like a maniac, try to work on the things in the weight room that I have deficiencies on, and just try to get better that way and not focus so much on what I know I'm good at. So, it was a different off season. I mean, 2020 was a heck of a year in every way. I wanted to come in, take some things that I learned last year and try to apply them to this off season.
Stepping into camp, I mean, what's your mindset? I guess how happy are you to be back around the guys and just be back with a new clean slate?
Yeah, this is camp number 14 for me, man. And every year is a little bit different coming in, but the excitement is what is similar to each year. The first couple of days, the first week, the first 2 weeks, I think it'll, probably resonate a lot more this year just because I think we're so thankful to get a full season in. It's exciting, man. It's cool. We got some new faces in here. We got some familiar faces in here. It feels like a reunion kind of on my end of the locker. And it's really exciting, man. I think we got some dudes that got a lot left in the tank. And I think we got some kids that are just getting going that are really, really good. So it's exciting. It's exciting to think about what our ability is going to be this year.
Danny, I know it's tough to compare teams with past teams, but many of us on the outside always like to look back to those 13, 14, 15, 16 teams. Does the feel, the anticipation, the belief in that clubhouse feel similar to any of those squads?
I think this one's a different animal in that there's a few dudes that didn't get to taste the big leagues last year that, for obvious reasons, number standpoint, there was not much in the form of a minor leagues, that they didn't get to experience that taste of the big leagues. They didn't get to when maybe they would have if the world was normal. But I think it's different, but it's also similar in dudes like Brady Singer, who had a phenomenal rookie season. A lot of dudes in there, man. And I think we got a taste of some success last year and, in spouts. And, the record obviously didn't end up the way we wanted it to, but we had some good stretches there. And I think dudes are really understanding who they are in the big leagues and just getting started on that. And that's a really fun time.
Your expectation every year is, 30 starts, take the ball every 5th day, coming off a 60-game season. Can that expectation, is that an honest expectation when you didn't throw that much last year?
For me, for myself?
Yes.
I'm going in with the mindset that I need to maintain my health. I need to maintain. It's just the same thing every year, man. Last year, I felt really good throughout physically. I want to keep it that way, which is why I kept throwing in the off season. And I had the I had the opportunity to because of that exact fact. I didn't make that many starts last year. So, my expectation is to go out there and stay healthy. Have that kind of, I don't know how to put it delicately. I had some teammates who had a term for it, but I'm just going to say, just kind of have that primal mentality. I feel a lot more at peace with everything. And I'm really looking forward to what we have, in our hands right now.
Danny, last year was so unprecedented just because of, just the situation and, all the different protocols and everything. I wondered for you, when you look back at it, what was the biggest adjustment, aside from the on-field stuff like playing in front of no fans and that sort of stuff and the empty ballpark, but like behind the scenes, what was the biggest adjustment, that you guys was sort of new to you last year and maybe is a little bit more familiar this year as you get ready to go back into sort of a similar type situation?
I think, at the field, it was different. which I totally understand with the protocols. There were instances where you're the only guy in the clubhouse and, you don't have a mask on for 5 seconds and someone's coming to tell you to put your mask on, who's not an employee of the team. That's part of it, man. And we need to be more focused upon wearing our masks as much as we can, as much as we remember, as just kind of make it a part of us. I think that was the biggest adjustment, but, it's not normal. But I think that it's very crucial that we all kind of just treat the mask as a part of our face for a while, which is really annoying, but it's very important. That was the biggest adjustment for me. And I went to a grocery store twice last year and I was extremely careful. I had to go get food and I was worried about, that kind of stuff, and I don't think that even when the world is normal again, that's going to be something we could just jump right back into, but it's just part of it, man. And then you go home, things are a little bit more lax, you could, but we get back here and it's right back at it. And we just need to remember how we got through last year healthy as a whole. I mean, we were very good at being careful. We were very good at following the protocols. Our team, dude, I'm so proud of the way we went about it because it was frustrating at times, but we banded together and we did the right things. And that was really good on our part.
Do you think does the fact that you guys sort of had to do it last year, I don't know if easier is the right word, but I mean, just going at it again and sort of jumping back into a similar situation, does it make it at all easier or just more, I don't know if it could be more comfortable, but I mean, doing it again, is it a little bit easier the second time around, I guess?
I haven't done it yet, so we'll see. I think I was just talking to Keller about it. I think that we made it our normal. It's going to be a little bit easier to kind of work around. But we're also fortunate to have who we have in our corner, man. Our training staff is tops in the league. Our coaching staff is tops in the league. Our front office is tops in the league, and we're all pulling on the same end of the rope as far as that's concerned. If there's somebody who's, maybe lagging on the mask wearing, which I haven't seen, I know that we're going to, jump on it. And myself included, if I'm for, being careless, and, people I hope will call me on it too. But we need to know what we have. We need to play. We want to play. We have a really good opportunity. We got a lot of talent in that clubhouse, and we don't want to do anything to compromise that.
Switching gears, you talked about sort of, some of the new faces coming in. I wondered, when you look at what the front office did, picking up guys like Santana, Minor, Michael Taylor, Benintendi, is there a sort of a message you think that's sent when the front office sort of makes some aggressive moves in the offseason that sort of trickles down to you guys, about what the expectations are going into this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Carlos Santana's, he puts together some of the best at-bats that you'll see. He's a tough out. I feel like I just learned how to get him out last year after 9 seasons. So, and here we are. Now he's on my team. So, but he's a really good hitter, man, from both sides of the plate. He can field his position. We got Benintendi, who's a solidified dude in the league. He's a stud. Happy to not have to face him anymore as well. Minor, I played with Mikey a couple years ago, and I really love being around the guy. He's the ultimate competitor, and he's going to be somebody who gives us a lot of innings and, is consistent. So, obviously with Wade and Greg back, that's unreal too. I'm really, really happy that they're back, and it's just we got a few more dudes in there, and a couple of the younger guys are going to get even more time under their belt, more experience, and the sky's the limit.
Hey, it's Blair. We have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns presented on the kansascity.com site, and it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. Your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star, and that support has never been more important. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening. Okay, as a reminder, we're going to hear from Greg Holland and Wade Davis. They were interviewed together, and after them, we'll hear from Brad Keller. Here we go with Holland and Davis.
Wade, hi, Lynn Worthy from the Kansas City Star. I wanted to ask you just what went into your decision to come back? What's it been like being back in the Royals uniform and just being back in camp?
I mean, a lot of it had to do with just knowing the area and the organization. These the COVID baseball type is kind of an interesting deal where, if I was to go with a team like in a city or something like that and not know anything about the city, I think that would have been a tough one to navigate with family and kids and everything. So other than just loving the organization and knowing some guys here and the whole staff, it just definitely felt like a good place to be.
What the last year, I know you've dealt with a little bit of shoulder issue, and so how would you describe sort of the end of the time there in Colorado? And were you looking for something more familiar? I mean, aside from just the COVID stuff.
Oh no, I mean, I wanted to be here. I talked to Greg about it a long time ago. This is definitely a place I wanted to be, and last year was interesting for everybody, and it didn't go great for me personally, but I feel great, and I'm definitely excited to be here.
Did you have any physical stuff that lingered into the off season, or you've been pretty much full go?
No, when I got back last year at the end of the season, I felt great, and just didn't pan out, and here I am.
Hey Wade, Annie Rogers with MLB.com, and it's nice to meet you. You said you're ready to go. What has the first few days of camp been like, and how does your stuff feel with some of your bullpens just in these first few days?
Bullpens felt good. Body feels good. Meeting some new guys around here. It seems like a really good group of people, which you fully expect, with Dayton and the way he runs things, you fully expect to come into a great group of people. And it's good seeing some of the trainers and the coaches that I've known in the past. And it definitely feels like I'm at home.
Has there been anything, different from when you were here before and now getting in? I know you're meeting lots of new people and this young core that they've got going up. What are your first impressions on what this roster looks like?
I mean, it looks like there's a lot of young studs. There's a lot of big, strong guys in here with good arms and a lot of confident people. And I don't think that's different than it was before. It's just a different group. And, I'm excited to get to know people and have a good spring training.
Hey, Holly, what is it like? I mean, obviously this is the second year coming back for you, but what's it like to have the two of you guys sitting there again? I mean, did you ever think that would happen? Is it one of those things where it starts to get, sort of flashbacks, or is it just really different this time around? I mean, what's the dynamic like there?
It's exciting. I guess I was naive. I just assumed we would be on the same team till we decided to quit playing baseball. But that's not, it's obviously not how it works in this game a lot of times. But, we were part of something special. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad that Wade's back. And I fully expect us to just go get outs as a bullpen collectively. And I think Wade's going to be a huge part of that. Like I said, I'm just super excited for it. We've got off to a good start as a pitching staff so far. It's early, but, a lot to look forward to.
And Holly, how different was it last year for you to come into camp at a place that was familiar, but with a lot of different faces and sort of, being in a different role than maybe when you had been there for a long time? When you come in new and you're trying to sort of earn a spot, but you're also a veteran who sort of had some track record with that organization.
I think it was easy for me just because it's pretty seamless transition. Salvi and Gordo and Duff were still here, guys I'd played with. And, like Wade was saying, the organization's always done a great job of getting a lot of high character guys in here. And from the moment I walked in to the locker room, I felt like I'd never left. So I think there's a lot to be said about a comfort level and being able to perform. And that definitely helped me quite a bit going into spring training and feeling comfortable right off the get-go. And then you just realize that, the way the game's transitioned anyway, I don't think having a set role matters as much as it used to. I think it's more dependent on just getting big outs in big situations, and that can be, any time of the game. And I think that's kind of where the game is going at the moment. So you just got to be ready. And I think Mike did a great job of telling us, like, you might not have the 8th or 9th inning, but, it gets later in the game. This part of the order comes up, be looking to get on the mound and get ready. And that's all you're really looking for is kind of a heads up. And we'll roll it out there in different combinations. But the main focus is just to get people out.
And Wade, along those lines, is it a different feel, or I guess how is it different coming into camp with an organization that but with some new staff, or just coming to it from somewhere else as opposed to having been there for a while?
I mean, I feel like every year, whether you're in the minor leagues or coming up, you're always meeting. You're always on a different team. In general, you're bringing in new guys, and you've got different coaching staffs and different philosophies. And I just feel like that's kind of a good thing. It's like a fresh face to go be a part of. And, I've obviously got a lot to prove here and to try to get an opportunity here. It just feels like it does really feel at home, but just with a fresh face, it seems like a pretty cool atmosphere.
Hey guys. I wanted to ask you guys just about, I know there's no manual going from a 60-game season to 162, and you guys each had your own things going on last season, but how do you feel like you're prepared for that jump? And I'm wondering actually if you started preparing for this jump last season in some ways. I
haven't thought twice about it, Sam, to be honest with you. I'm just looking to be in a good spot come opening day, just like any other camp. I think it might be a little different for starting pitchers, but I know as a reliever, the whole time we were quarantined, most of us were throwing high intensity. I was throwing 40, sometimes 50 pitch bullpens just to kind of simulate getting my arm tired and fatigued. So I don't know if there'll necessarily be an adjustment playing a more normal schedule this year, but I don't think it's anything you can really worry about. I'm just looking to get myself in a good spot come opening day.
Greg, you touched on the great run you guys had. Do you look back now and kind of appreciate either one of you just how dominant you guys were?
I try not to be honest with you, but it's something that is going to be a highlight of my career, regardless of how long I've got left to play this game. I know watching some of those playoff games and just realizing how meaningful they were to the city and to us individually is pretty special. I try not to jump into that thought process during the course of a season or anything, but I know that when I'm done playing this game that I'll be able to sit back and really enjoy a lot of memories that are going to be dear to me.
How about you, Wade?
Oh man, I love watching all those games. Me and my kids watch them on replay in the winter all the time. It's exciting stuff to look back on. But as far as mindset, the same way. You're on to the next year, next pitch, whatever it is. No matter what, next thing, even after baseball. So I feel the same way about it.
And do either of you guys ever keep in touch with Kelvin Herrera?
Yeah, you keep in touch with him, right? I mean, as much as you can.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys. I think that's the greatest part of this game is the connections you make with people from all different walks of life. And Kelvin's way up there for me. We grinded it out. He pitched some really huge spots on short rest or no rest, and you respect that, but you also respect the type of person he is.
Hey, Brad, how's camp thus far?
It's going really good. We got a buzz here that's a lot of fun to be around. The guys, from what I've seen, have been throwing unreal. We got a lot of talent in this clubhouse, and I'm really excited to watch once games start.
Everybody's talked about the buzz. I remember last year we talked about just how much energy there was. How do you feel that when you're there? How do you see that?
I mean, I just think it's the way guys carry themselves throughout the day. Guys have a lot more energy. They're excited to be here. They're excited to go out there, even if it's just, PFPs or something. They're just excited to be here. So I think that's the best way to tell.
Brad, what kind of potential does this rotation have compared to the ones you've been with in Kansas City the last few years?
I mean, a ton. I mean, we got a lot of veteran experience in the rotation, especially adding a guy like Mike Minor, who's, been through it all, been around the league a little bit, been through the ups and downs, just kind of see the way he goes about his business and stuff. I mean, a lot of the young guys can pick up off of that. I think watching some of the guys' lives yesterday, just a ton of talent. And like I said, I'm excited once games start to see how they compete.
Do you feel like a veteran now, especially with all those young guys in the rotation?
Honestly, no. I was having that conversation this morning. It's like, I still try to look up to the veteran guys and see, how they carry themselves. And, I don't think I'll ever consider myself a veteran.
Hey, Brad. Just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Annie Rogers, the new beat writer for MLB.com, taking over for Flanny. Wanted to just ask you a little bit about what your goal is this season. When we talked to Mike Matheny earlier this week, and he was saying that they need you to be strong, be able to carry a lot of innings, especially here early in the season. Is that kind of what you've been looking at, and how have you prepared your body both in the offseason and now to be able to do that for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think, with the way last year went, with not a lot of guys being able to throw a lot of innings, I think it's important to come into camp ready to go right off the bat. I think I took a lot more emphasis on conditioning this offseason to come in and be ready to take innings right away. I think personally that was the best way to do it. I think with the way the schedule's lined up, we got to be ready right off the rip, especially if we're going to run, with all the off days early on. I don't know how the rotation's going to set up. So we got to be ready to go right as soon as the ball drops. So I think that was the biggest thing, was just a lot more conditioning this offseason.
Brad, you dealt with obviously a shortened season last year, didn't get the type of preparation you wanted with a lot of stuff going off the field with you and your physical condition, obviously dealing with everything with COVID. How proper is it for you to now get that full camp going in, and how you feel you can improve off of what you did, the short kind of time limit you had last season?
Yeah, I mean, I think, improving off of last year, for me personally, just, fine-tuning some pitches, working on a changeup that, I started throwing middle of last year, fine-tuning mechanics. But, as a whole, I just think, we ended the season on a good month. And like I said, with the additions we had, the buzz in this clubhouse, I don't think it's going to be tough for us to get off to a good start, just because, the energy level here is just through the roof, and it's a lot of fun to be around.
What do you see out of Brady and Chris that make you think they're in line for an even improved 2021?
Just, I mean, they're experienced beyond their years, honestly. Like, watching Singer go in and out between every start, through the ups and downs last year with, such composure and ability to kind of navigate through some rough outings to go out there and potentially throw a no-hitter. I mean, it's really fun to watch. And same thing with Chris. I mean, he's probably got one of the best changeups in the game. It's fun to watch him go out there and, even when he doesn't have his best stuff, his changeup's on and he's able to dominate and at least get us to 6. So that's all you can ask for a starter. I mean, obviously we want to go deeper, but like I said, they're mature beyond their years. So, I'm excited once a full season to see what they can do the whole year.
Brad, you mentioned the changeup. We've talked about it like 50 times probably over the last few years. Where is that pitch now? What'd you do this offseason taking it from last year to get it to where it is now?
I think I have a little bit more confidence in it now. This offseason, I really just focused on throwing it and getting comfortable with it. I think that was the biggest thing in years past. I just never had a lot of confidence in being able to bring it into a game. And last year, they kind of forced me to throw into games, and I got really good results from it. And I think that was just kind of a eye-opening to myself that I can throw this in games, have confidence, and get results. So just kind of get over that mental hurdle and just get more consistent with it and be able to throw it to both sides, lefties and righties. And I think that's just the biggest thing is consistency with it.
Hey, Brad, you touched on Mike Minor, but just kind of curious with all the guys showing up tomorrow, your thoughts on some of the new faces that you're going to see and some of the offseason moves that the Royals made?
I mean, it's huge. Actually, the night before I got here was the Benintendi's trade. And I know when I got here, I saw Mike right away. And first thing I said was, how about that trade? I mean, that was just was incredible. I mean, it's a huge get for us. I mean, especially adding Santana and Michael Taylor, like guys like that, just that have been in the league, been to playoffs, been able to compete and kind of bring that experience in this clubhouse is, something that we're really excited to have. And like I said, playoff experience is tough to come by. And we got it in our bullpen with Wade and Greg, and now we got it in our position players outside of Salvi.
That'll do it for today. Thanks to our SportsBeat KC production staff of Derek Donovan, Beth Welsh, Monty Davis, Jeff Rosen, Chris Fickett, and Savannah Smith. Hey, we have another deal for you. For a limited time, you can subscribe to Sports Pass for 99 cents a month. That's right, 99 pennies a month. After 3 months, it auto-renews at $5.99 a month unless you cancel. And what a time to subscribe. The Royals are at spring training, March Madness is right around the corner, and it's never not Chiefs season. How do you get it? You go to kansascity.com/sportspass2020. That's kansascity.com/sportspass2020. You want more than just sports coverage? Check out the entire Kansas City Star product. Sports news, features, commentary, and analysis, the whole thing. You get all the stories written by my talented colleagues, plus additional news, sports, and business coverage with the e-edition. The details for all of these deals can be found at account.kansascity.com/subscribe. And if you're having trouble hunting down any of these offers, send me an email, bkirkhoff@kcstar.com. I will get you to the right place. So whether it's the Sports Pass or the full subscription, you're getting and supporting the best sports and news coverage in Kansas City and helping us produce programs like SportsBeat KC. Thanks for listening, and we will be back on Tuesday with another episode.